Hey everyone, this is a walk through the week 1 assignment. This might change over time, so make sure you actually review the current rubric because I don't think I'm going to make these like every day. Okay, so you're going to see there's two rubrics. There is one that it looks more like a list form, and then there's one that's more like a traditional UOP table form, which I don't know. My brain doesn't work so well this way, but whatever works the best for you is the one that you should use. Okay? Okay, so let's go to the list form, which is this one, and you'll see it goes through and tells you blah blah blah. The assignment's due on the last day of the week at midnight, as always, 11:59. Okay, so each answer needs to be 100 words. Let's say each answer, how about in part 1, needs to be 100 words. So then we're going to have, you need to use a source other than the course materials. I would delete those word boxes because they suck and I don't have time to extend them as a professor when I'm grading them. So I'm only going to grade what I can see. So if you type in the word box and I can't see what it is because you went past it, I will not grade it. I will not extend it. And that seems a little pain in the butt, but you don't have no idea how long it takes to grade assignments, and adding that little bit to every single assignment almost killed me. Okay, so part 1. So first, part 1 is going to talk about how chemistry and biology are intertwined. So you're going to have to go and find a media piece. It can be a YouTube video. It could be just a website. I would suggest when you do this, look for something like Biology and Chemistry for Children or Biology and Chemistry Made Easy, and those really will help you. And then make sure you hit that word count. You're going to need that full reference APA citation, right? So let's make it full APA reference citation, okay? And then in there, I want to know that you did learn something about how these two topics are connected, and I also want to know why this piece helped you learn this information. So why would you recommend it to a friend? Because that's kind of part of the question, and those sort of go together, okay? So then for the next question, it's going to be talking about the metabolism of cells. So try of cells would be nice. And we'll just do this one too as a full, so same thing, right? You're going to look up maybe metabolism, cell metabolism made easy, cellular metabolism, something like that. Make sure you're talking about cells, not the whole body. And again, you'll talk about what you learned and how this was made easier for you, why you would recommend it. The next one's going to talk about structures and functions of different cell types. So, like, if there's a different cell, what does it do? What's the structures inside of it? This will have a little bit of the organelles that you can discuss in the discussion threads, right? And the same thing, you'll talk about what you learned and why you would recommend this site. Maybe it's a silly song, you kept it all in your head. Maybe it was a great PowerPoint, it was visual, whatever. Whatever helps you learn, because we all learn different styles, right? Some people are very visual, some people are very auditory. Just depends on what it is. Okay, so then this last one's going to be about the scientific method, creating hypothesis, or designing an experiment. So we're talking about the scientific method. So you're going to talk about, you know, what source you found. You're going to have that full reference. You're going to relate it to what you learned. So what did you learn? Give me something. And then why you would recommend this site. Let's get rid of the extra space. Okay, then part 2. So part 2 has a little case study about Earl. Make sure you spell Earl correctly. Each section or question, you're going to need to have 200 to 300 words for it, okay? Do I really leave in 200? I can't change it, so I guess if you go over 300, I don't really care. Just don't go under. Okay, so this first question is asking you, how would the scientific method help Earl create an experiment to determine the food sources that made people sick, right? So scientific method, what do you learn up here? How will that help him create an experiment? The second question is going to be, you know, the steps of the scientific method Earl utilized. When you say utilize, which one has he used already? So he's already gone through part of the scientific method. What were those steps? Have 200 words. Describe the remaining steps Earl will use if he decides to use the scientific method to determine what made people sick. So the first question asks you about the experiment. Likely that's one of the steps. Make sure you talk about all the steps. And remember, this is public health, so all the steps, okay? And then down here it just gives you a little thing about right point and how much I love it. Reminds you of the reference citation generator. Awesome. Use it. Let's look at the more traditional version really quickly. It tells you the same stuff on the top, right? I'm not going to extend your text boxes. It might be a little nicer for breaking down. I would tend to use the list form, maybe copy and paste it into my paper to make sure I got all the points, and then maybe check this off at the end, or maybe just use this as a checklist, like highlight it, like, okay, I talked about this part already. I provided my media piece for question 1, and it wasn't the text. I'm going to highlight that because I did it. Right? You might go through that, and then you know that you did it all. I'm going to unhighlight this because I plan on just saving it. Okay. So you could do that for all of it. Whatever it takes for you to make sure you get all your points. And then you do that, and it tells you that for each question, right? And then in part 2, it goes through the questions just the same way, right? It tells you the point breakdown. When you get your papers back, I use comments and embedded feedback rather than this table. So I would go to question 1 under part 2 and say, like, you earned 0.75 out of 0.75 points, great discussion, or maybe here's what you needed a little bit of help on, whatever. At the end, I'll give you the total and suggestions on what to improve for next time, what you did really well this time, that kind of thing. Okay? So hopefully this makes the assignment for the first assignment for week 1 way easier, especially after all that reading. It used to be 5 chapters before the new classroom, and then they added another 2. Isn't that nice? I thought that was very nice. Not really. Okay. Oops. Wrong button. Helps if you actually turn off the right button. Okay. I'm going to end the video.